We're just a few hours away from history being made by a Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla as he's India's pride, and he's taking this historic mission to space. And we will be tracking every detail of this space journey, as after 4 decades, the Tiranga will be there in space. We have a very special guest on the broadcast, Shubhanshu Shukla's childhood friend, very dear friend of his, Mr. Vishal Srivastav joins us here. Thank you so much, Mr. Srivastav, for joining us on Republic TV, sir. You know, Shubhanshu is going to space, first Indian after Rakesh Sharma. It's a long time. It's a long wait that's going to end. We're going to see the tricolor finally at the ISS, sir. What's going through your mind? Because you've known him since, I think, nursery, since childhood, and, till, adulthood, you're still friends. What's going through your mind right now?
No, Rakshita, thank you for having me, and it's an absolute proud moment for me. I think, like every Indian, I think I can feel the pride, and my pride actually is multiplied by a billion times because I've been so close to him, and I think everyone's prayer, I think I would multiply and expand and give it to him. So that's absolutely a proud moment. And right now, there is a little bit of anxiety, a lot of happiness and pride. So that's my current state of mind and feelings. I'm just trying to think of, we reaching there in the International Space Station as the first Shubhanshu presenting the first Indian citizenship over there. So waiting for that and looking forward to his proud return after that.
Did you manage to speak to him of late?
Yes, and I think I spoke to him about last week itself, and I don't expect him to speak to me now because it's absolutely, I think, a crucial moment. And yes, I spoke to him. Yes.
So what was he telling? He was excited, and how is he preparing? How is he doing?
So I think one thing he and me have in common is that we try to live in present. So I think the conversation was not about how are you feeling, how it is going to be. It's absolutely, we know it's something very great. I think that day we did have a discussion around, of how, there are people who are trying to understand about some childhood stories of him. And he said, yes, Vishal, this is very important that these things should come out because people, the kids especially of the next generation, should know that, for having an extraordinary dream, you cannot leave your ordinary childhood. So I think this should come out in public and people should know. So I think, yeah, that was a kind of discussion that we were having. And yes, he did say that, yes, I will try to speak to you before going, but I totally understand he must be really, really busy. And more than that, he'll be concentrating.
We also want to know from you, in fact, about his childhood because you've known him so closely. You were his classmate. And so how was he in school? How was Shubhanshu Shukla when he was in school? And while growing up, what sort of a student, what sort of an individual was he?
See, I think just to let the audience know that, we have been friends since, I think, 1989, since we were 4 years old. And both of us have been in the same class and section, throughout till class 12. And for some reason, I think both of us have been in touch even, I think he got commissioned into NDA in June 2006. And I think in 2002, he was the first person to, from our batch to get, NDA placed. And so he was set on his life over there. After that, I went to Bangalore for joining NIFT. But we have been always in touch. He had been coming to Bangalore. We have been visiting whenever there were breaks. We were meeting in Lucknow. I joined for his marriage. He joined for mine. And all these things continue. In this school, I think I've always seen him as a very introvert, guy. We would prank. I mean, he was a prankster, by the way, for sure, because I still remember we were in class, I think 7th or 8th. And that time, Valentine's Day was, just coming out from the West and, trying to make its place in India and even in Lucknow. I remember he placing a greeting card with a heart and all within my bag. So I never knew that it was him. We went out for lunch. When I came back from the recess, I saw that in the bag. First, I got a little happy saying that, oh, who's this person who's giving me this card, Valentine Day card? But when I looked at the handwriting, it was definitely not Shubhanshu's. But I could get it. It was his elder sister, Nidhi Didi's writing, because we got some project done from her, and I remember her writing. That's how I was able to caught the prank. Otherwise, I would have gone happy in my life saying that, okay, somebody has given me a Valentine Day card. So I think he had been a prankster. He had been, doing a lot of mischievous activities also, which I think some of them I'll always try to keep it with me. And as a person, I think very grounded person, very normal. I think one thing that, I think probably keeps him and his friends with him and me also with him connected is he's very ground to earth. And whenever he'll meet his parents, my in-laws, or anyone, he will, go and touch the feet and all. So I think this is phenomenal. I think we all should, I can say that this value system is something really which makes us who we are today. And I think is a fantastic example of that. Right. And as a human being is absolutely, he's doing a phenomenal thing, a very, very impossible thing, which is not possible for billions of people on the globe. He lives a very normal life. Whenever we are free, we'll strike conversations on philosophy, on life, on mythology, on sometimes politics, sometimes, our college days, or not the school, but the college days, some incidents that happened with us. We would play sometime badminton, sometime cards. Dumb charades is something that, myself, Sudhanshu, Kamna, my wife Archie, we would just team up and play. I think this is how it's absolutely normal. This thing, yes, of course, a lot of training, a lot of sacrifices for what he's doing today. So yes, that's as a person.
Did he ever mention to
he
you
is.
about, of course, he got through NDA and then joined the forces. That is, of course, a very rigorous training. He's been a fighter pilot as well. But did he ever mention to you about his ambitions to join, the space sector? Did he ever tell you or share anything about of becoming an astronaut?
So I'll tell you, I think these kind of discussion we never had. Probably he had in his mind, maybe he wanted to, because whenever we have been conversing, at that point in time, there was no plan of the Indian government itself of having any, space program at that point in time. I remember that, we used to discuss when I got married. He was still not, stationed at Bangalore. The year I got married, he came and he met me at my place, and he said, "Vishal, I'm trying to, give some exam for test pilot, and if I qualify, I'll, be posted to Bangalore for about at least 3 years." And that was a great thing for me. I said, "Hey, at least 3 years you'll be here with me. We'll have a lot of fun," and all that. So that's how he came here. I believe parallelly, this program of, the ambition of India to have their own manned space program, got incubated. And that's where I think, there was a drive to select, prospect astronauts from Air Force. So he did mention at that point in time, "I'm trying to give this. If I get selected, it'll be great." Then he also shared when he got selected. Then he shared when he was going to Russia for the training. And of course, till that time, it got public last year by, when PM Modi felicitated him. We knew of it because we were very closely connected and we were sharing. Of course, you will share all this happiness amongst, as a family, everyone. So that's how we would know it. But yes, of course, we never, we were not supposed to tell it publicly, and it had to happen with the right people at the right time and with the right people. So that's how it is. So I think once he got selected, I believe, I somewhere felt that probably he was meant to do all this. Sometimes it's joining the dots. Like, he probably, I never thought that he will join NDA, but he joined NDA and he was the first one to get placed to, trying to be a test pilot and bringing things here. Then he, the space program coming into play from India's side, and he getting selected. I mean, looks like everything was meant to happen this way. So if you join the dots, looks like that. So I believe he was a perfect fit. Had been Shubhanshu today, at his young age, and we were at youngsters, I'm sure he would have talked, about the space program, because it is really existing now. So he would have ambition. So if we have to bring him about 35 years ahead, then I would see Shubhanshu probably preparing to become an astronaut.
And did you, when he got selected for the Gaganyaan mission, what was the conversation like between you both? What was he saying? How was he feeling? How are you feeling?
So I'll tell you. So for me, I mean, I think every time he got selected, it was a proud feeling. I mean, sometimes we say that fathers feel proud to be known by their son's name. Here, I wouldn't hesitate to say that I'm proud to be associated with him as a friend and being there. So that was a feeling. Every time the felicitation was that I was really happy. And I think only thing that I would tell it to me, yaar, maza aa gaya. I mean, maza aa gaya. That was the only thing. I think more than words, I believe the emotions were there, and the body language would speak for itself.
What's your fondest memory of his? What's your fondest memory that you still recollect, and it's the most you cherish about him?
See, I think from the memories perspective, I think we have lots of them. But I want to, more than memories, if I have to start telling, it would take a lot of time probably.
Yes.
But I would try to, cherish the image that I make of him, right? And think from that perspective, I believe, the composure that he brings, he doesn't let you feel that he's doing something very extraordinary.
And you spoke about his wife. I think we spoke to his parents also a few days ago, and they were also crediting Kamna also about the support she has lent to him. You also are very close to her. She's like your sister, you said. What's her role? I think she's in US, and did you speak to her? What's going through her mind, and what's been her role, in this journey of Shubhanshu's?
So I think I'll say that, there I'll brag a little about myself that I know Shubhanshu even before Kamna. Although Kamna, happens to be my Rakhi sister, she has been tying Rakhi to me for the last 32 years. And I have known Shubhanshu for 36 years. So I think as far as Kamna is concerned, I think, when she talks him about a professional, she's very appreciative. The moment she becomes a wife and talks about her husband, of course, the regular complaints are there. So, so that's how I will put it. But yes, of course, she's very proud. And I would say before he is going to see the International Space Station or the space, I mean, she's the girl who has shown him the moon. Right. So that's the kind of word that I'll try to put up, because without her support, I believe Sudhanshu would have not been able to, focus on what he's, getting today. I mean, being away from the family, being away with the son, not able to see his probably annual events, etc. I mean, it sounds very small, very trivial, but trust me, it's a big miss. Right. And I think the sayings when somebody admits that, no pain, no gain, right, all those things. I think these are the incidents that probably really illustrate those sayings very well.
And we've read about his menu. He'll be having amras and moong dal ka halwa and all these things. All these reports are coming in. He spoke about that in the press conference as well. So tell us about him. What does he like? Is he a foodie, or he's very simple? And what does he do when he wants to just have a leisure time and all? And what sort of a person he is when not in his uniform?
So I think I've always met him without his uniform.
Yeah,
so let me tell that. So I have seen him, he as a real person. So I believe, as I told you some time back, he's a very, very normal guy. I mean, he would do the same thing that any of us do during our free times, chat with us, share laughs, jokes, pull legs of each other. I mean, this is a very, very common thing. And I want to reiterate this again and again, just to people know that, yes, he's a very normal human being with a very extraordinary skill. So that is there. As far as his food preferences are there, I believe he has been, fond of the food that is actually required for this kind of a job.
Okay.
He's been like a salad person, being very calorie conscious, very, very health conscious. I mean, there are a lot of fantastic, fit officers in the Air Force.
Yeah.
I have seen the, foodie officers also in the Air Force by virtue of being with him. But I think he has been not, very conscious about what he's eating. Sometimes he would definitely have a few things and love to eat food. And one thing I can again definitely say that he loves to eat Lucknowi chicken biryani whenever I make it. Right. So he's fond of that. So of course he eats it in very, very controlled portion, and especially when he started going for his trainings and all, he literally kind of eliminated that. But whenever he has a time, that this was his preference. And yes, he avoids sweet. He would eat very little of it. So from the food perspective, I think he's more of a salad and a very healthy food
very
kind of person now. I think he's internalized the way of being fit and also.
So finally, what are you going to tell him? I'm sure you are, as you said in the beginning, that you're very anxious, but I'm sure you must be praying very hard also. And if one thing, because if we are not able to get through him right now, what would you just want to tell him just before the takeoff?
No, I'll just say that, Shubhanshu, we are really, really proud of you. I think I don't have any other words if I have to say, koi aur shabd nahi hai batane ke liye, and it's such a moment of pride with us. तुम्हें पता भी होगा Shubhanshu, and I would reiterate this on this television, on this program with Rakshita, that whenever I find someone, I find reasons to take them to the space programs. Are you updated on that? And then tell him that, that this guy, he is my friend, right? So I think that's the kind of impact you are creating. And I believe, हम लोग तो, हमारी generation, we are in the midlife crisis and midlife में, but I think you are becoming a true inspirations for the next generation. The entire school, I believe, is looking up to you. The entire generation is looking up to you. And बस यार, finish off things, come back fast, and waiting for you. मिलना है, बहुत time हो गया now. It's going to be a year since you're there, and just come back, and then we'll have a lot of stories to share.
Yes, absolutely. Spoke like a true friend. Thank you so much, Vishal, for joining us on Republic TV.
Thank you, Rakshita. Thanks.